Okay, this is chapter 28 of Prodigy. Day. The doctors didn't like me in the beginning. The feeling was pretty mutual, of course. I haven't exactly had the best experiences in hospitals. 2 days ago, when they finally managed to get me off the balcony of Denver's Capitol Tower and calm the massive throngs of people cheering me on, they strapped me into an ambulance and took me straight to the hospital. There, I shattered a doctor's glasses and kicked over my room's metal trays when they tried to check me for injuries. "You put a hand on me," I snapped at them, "and I'll break your gaudy necks." The hospital staff had to tie me down. I screamed myself hoarse for Eden, demanding to see him, threatening to burn down the entire hospital if they didn't deliver him. I shouted for June. I yelled for proof that the Patriots were released. I asked to see Kate's body, begging them to give her a proper burial. They broadcasted my reactions live to the public because of the crowds that had gathered by the hospital, demanding to see I was being treated properly. But I gradually calmed down, and after seeing me alive, the crowds in Denver began to calm down too. "Now this doesn't mean you won't be closely watched," my doctor says, as I'm given a set of Republic color shirts and military trousers. He mumbles so the security cameras can't pick up what he's saying. I can barely see his eyes through the glare across his tiny round glasses. "But you've been fully pardoned by the elector, and your brother Eden should be arriving at the hospital any minute now." I'm quiet. After everything that's happened since Eden was first stricken by the plague, I can barely comprehend that the Republic is going to give him back to me. All I can do is smile at the doctor through gritted teeth. He smiles back at me with an expression full of dislike as he goes on about my test results and where I'm going to live after all this is over. I know he doesn't want to be here, but he doesn't say it aloud, not with all these cameras on. From the corner of my eye, I can see the one monitor on the wall that shows me what they're doing to June. She appears safe, undergoing the same inspection as me, but the anxiety in my throat refuses to go away. "There's one last thing I'd like to tell you in private," the doctor goes on. I listen half-heartedly. "Quite important. Something we've discovered in your x-rays that you should know about." I lean forward to hear him better, but at that instant the room's intercom blares to life. "Eden Bartar Wing is here, doctor," it says. "Please inform Day." Eden is here. Suddenly, I couldn't care less about whatever my gaudy x-ray results are. Eden is outside right beyond my cell's door. The doctor tries to tell me something, but I just push past him, throw the door open, and stumble out into the corridor. At first, I don't see him. There are too many nurses wandering through the halls. Then I notice a small figure swinging his legs on one of the hall's benches, his skin healthy and his head full of wayward, white blonde curls, dressed in an overly large school uniform and kid-sized boots. He seems taller, and maybe that's because he's able to sit up straighter now. When he turns toward me, I realize that he's wearing a thick pair of black-rimmed glasses. His eyes are a light, milky purple, reminiscent of the young boy I'd seen in the rail car on that cold, sleet-filled night. "Eden," I call out hoarsely. His eyes stay in focus, but an amazing smile blooms on his face. He gets up and tries to walk toward me, but he stops when he can't seem to tell where exactly I am. "Is that you, Daniel?" he says with shaky hesitation. I run to him, scoop him up in my arms, and hold him tight. "Yeah," I whisper, "it's Daniel." Eden just cries. Sobs rack his body. He tightens his arms around my neck so fiercely that I don't think he'll ever let go. I take a deep breath to contain my own tears. The plague has taken most of his vision, but he's here, alive and well, strong enough to walk and talk. That's enough for me. "Good to see you again, kid," I choke out, ruffling his hair with one hand. "Missed you." I don't know how long we stay there, minutes, hours, but it doesn't matter. Time ticks by one long second after another, and I make the moment stretch out as much as I can. It's as if I'm standing here and hugging my entire family. He's everything that means anything. At least I have this. I hear a cough behind me. "Day," the doctor says. He's leaning against the open door of my cell, his face grave and shadowy under the fluorescent light. I gently put Eden down, keeping one hand on his shoulder. "Come with me. This will be quick, I promise." He pauses at the sight of Eden. "I recommend you keep your brother out here, just for now. I assure you that you'll be back in a few minutes, and then you'll both be driven to your new apartment." I stay where I am, unwilling to trust him. "I promise," he says again. "If I'm lying, will you have enough power to ask the elector to arrest me for it?" Well, that's basically true. I wait a while longer, chewing on the inside of my cheek, and then I pat Eden's head. I'll be right back, okay? Stay on the bench. Don't go anywhere. If someone tries to make you move, you scream. Got it? Eden wipes a hand across his nose and nods. I guide him back to the bench, then follow the doctor into my cell. He shuts the door with a soft click. What is it? I say impatiently. My eyes can't stop turning toward the door, like it'll vanish into the wall if I don't stay vigilant. Against the corner wall, June's monitor shows her waiting alone in her room, but the doctor doesn't seem annoyed with me this time. He clicks a button on the wall and mutters something about turning the sound off on the cameras. Like I was saying before you left, as part of your tests, we scanned your brain to see if it had been altered by the colonies. We didn't find anything to worry about, but we ran across something else. He turns around, clicks a small device, and points to an illuminated screen on the wall. It's displaying an image of my brain. I frown at it, unable to make sense of what I'm seeing. The doctor points to a dark splotch near the bottom of the image. We saw this near your left hippocampus. We think it's old, probably years old, and has been slowly worsening over time. I puzzle over it for a while, then turn back to the doctor. It still seems trivial to me, especially when Eden is waiting out in the hall, especially when I'll be able to see June again. And what else? Have you had any severe headaches lately or within the last few years? Yes, of course I have. I've had headaches ever since the night that the Los Angeles Central Hospital ran tests on me, the night I was supposed to die, when I ran away. I nod. He folds his arms. Our records show that you have been experimented on after you failed your trial. There were some tests conducted on your brain. He coughed, struggling for the right words. Were meant to succumb rather quickly, but you survived. Well, it seems that the effects have finally started catching up to you. He switches to a low whisper. Nobody knows about this, not even the elector. We don't want the country to be thrown back into a revolutionary state. Initially, we thought that we could cure it with a combination of surgery and medication, but when we studied the problem areas closer, we realized that everything is so entwined with healthy matter in your hippocampus that it would be impossible to stabilize the situation without severely impairing your cognitive capacity. I swallow hard. So, what does that mean? The doctor removes his glasses with a sigh. It means, Day, that you're dying.